like a sword over the wills of men. The truth I will defend till the war's all end. Call me the Lord of War, bringing Tupac's revenge.
What?
Tupac's revenge, yeah, Tupac's revenge. See, every now and then, when I pick up the pen, I use it like a sword over the wills of men. The truth I will defend till the war's all end. Dear Tupac, is heaven really full of G's? Has the Archangel Michael giving you a reprieve? Will you be rapping after rapture all the day hell freeze? Will you laugh as these pussy rappers fall on their knees? Will you be the one at the pearly gates, seizing all they say, singing in their crazy? You rappers couldn't wait till you was gonna be great, breathing in your essence while they ignore your lessons. Hey, rappers so cross-dressing while they exploit your blessings. That's lies and lies deception. So ain't just my perception, covered in all your erections. But then the cycle never ends. Fake friends, they all pretend as acolytes pretend, while the night brings a rap entitled Tupac's Revenge. See, every now and then, when I pick up the pen, I use it like a sword over the wills of men. The truth I will defend till the war's all end. Call me the Lord of War, bringing Tupac's revenge.
What?
Tupac's revenge, yeah, Tupac's revenge. See, every now and then, when I pick up the pen, I use it like a sword over the wills of men. The truth I will defend till the war's all end. Never a borrower, or a lender be. When the titans walk the earth, none of the gods can be free. We all bear witness to the times you went free, and to the 5 fatal shots that cemented your pedigree. They all went to your feet, on your bones like a beast, confined by demons in the east. You resurrect in the west without a test. All eyes, elevated the test. Your style complex, and yes, your death the best. Resurrect through sex. You got the second nature women get wet. These rappers hoping you won't, praying to God that you won't. Air, they dirty deeds, making their ends bleed. They beg and plead, spread through gardens like weeds. They plot scheming secret orders and teams, but nothing is what it seems when it came to pop. When all they albums flop, yours is straight to the top. So as you laugh from one high, watching these rappers die like crabs in the barrel, wishing that they were sparrows or cuts. When overcuts in the flesh diminish, he listened to the sky, closed his eyes and it was finished. See, every now and then, when I pick up the pen, I use it like a sword over the wills of men. The truth I will defend till the war's all end. Call me the Lord of War, bringing Tupac's revenge.
What?
Tupac's revenge, yeah, Tupac's revenge. See, every now and then, when I pick up the pen, I use it like a sword over the wills of men. The truth I will defend till the war's all end. Don't stop. Keep rock. Don't stop. Try. It's funny how in life people cause you strife, but when the body's in the ground, these niggas act like your wife. Wear their bandanas like you, they even got your tattoos. They study you on interviews and watching you on the news. They all sat at your table, wishing that they were able to be one of many apprentices that's rocking your cables. They all came to the room, we can call it the upper. All boys that get the blessing just like Christ at the supper for the kingdom of God. To pass it to them to sin, they all ate up the flesh, thinking that they would win. But you, being the prince, chose to eat all these things, and then it came to pass that the boys became men. You see, one became the player, one became the hustler, one became the drug dealer, ultra thug and lover. One became the mega pimp, one became spiritual. All was really down with the hit. Ain't that a miracle? Now ain't that some shit? When your disciples commit the task of spilling blood and rituals in a mask, I laugh at them all while hubris make a fall, wearing images on shirts, effigies on their wall. But your revenge comes in the form of civil war, where these rappers kill each other while the devil keeps score and more. Choose to ignore, but they can't survive. When we listen to the truth, we wonder, what do we have here now? Can we find a way to revere all our fallen soldiers in a way less severe and more sincere, without the hate? Let's demonstrate the faith in the brother's legacy. I hope you're hearing me. See, every now and then, when I pick up the pen, I use it like a sword over the wills of men. The truth I will defend till the war's all end. Call me the Lord of War, bringing Tupac's revenge. Tupac's revenge, yeah, Tupac's revenge. See, every now and then, when I pick up the pen, I use it like a sword over the wills of men. The truth I will defend till the war's all end. Yo, again, respect out to one of the greatest of all time, one of the greatest in all rhymes. We all gotta be willing to stop the killing, this civil war and rap, before any nation truly gets together. Whether it be the north and the south, east and the west, we gotta put all this hatred to rest and resurrect the true essence of what this shit is. Peace.
Alright, what's up, y'all? This is Super Heru Radio. It is yours truly. I see the Duke of Tears, your host with my brother.
Peace.
Saga Ali. Peace.
How you doing, brother?
On? I'm good, King. How you, man? How you? Yeah, man. It's been one of them crazy weeks, G.
Yeah. That it has. I'm hanging in there, you know, watching different things unfold and, you know, taking notes and paying attention and, you know, keeping a mindful eye of different things that's going on.
Word. Trying to avoid the euthanasia. People call the media. You know what I'm saying? So much, man. You know how we do on Super Heavy Radio, we always get into current events, and it's so much. Seems like last week we talked about, you know, this coming war. These entities, so-called people, so-called governments are trying to get involved in South America. They made mention of it in that movie Avatar that everybody's bugging about. But people don't realize it's very serious, and it's been going on since Perón and them, right? Like right after Paperclip. These dudes, basically the foreign policy for Latin America was to basically destabilize all governments through coup d'etats, bloodless coups, all that type of stuff. So, you know, it's no coincidence. Again, they made mention of it in the Avatar movie, talking about some type of war that is coming with Venezuela, which we already know is profit from the Bush era. But seemed like it's been upgraded. And I'm not necessarily saying that the earthquake in Chile, because that's what we're alluding to, is, let's say, man-made. However, I do see a pattern in the fact that, you know, first is Haiti, then it's Venezuela, now it's, was that Chile, right?
Now it's Chile.
You know what I'm saying? Which then is affecting a region of water that people will call the South Pacific, but they also call it the Ring of Fire based on the fact that it's right around the 19th parallel. The 19th parallel, for those people don't know, is where basically all volcanic activity in the universe takes place. All of the volcanoes on Mars, on, what is that? Titan, not Titan, Europa, and all the volcanic activity in the universe is around the 19th parallel. So they're saying that this tsunami now that was supposed to had started from the earthquake, basically is supposed to basically devastate everything within that area. So technically, Washington, D.C., and Oregon need to really be on alert because a lot of the backlash or what they call the upstream of the water, you know, could potentially hit those areas as well. But I find it funny they only talked about Hawaii, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Also, this earthquake was an 8.8, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, this earthquake was so powerful that it allegedly knocked Earth 3 degrees on the axis. You know what I'm saying? 3 inches on the axis. You know what I'm saying? Which then would mean that we're not in the galactic position we were in prior to this earthquake. You know what I mean? Which then means that all of the math now has to be recalculated on the rotations of the planet, because what it also did was it basically like subtracted, I think, like 6 minutes off the day. You know what I'm saying? So again, it seemed like that type of event is a form of time movement, or let's say time manipulation, you know. And being that this earthquake also took place 140 miles from where the last one like that took place, which was 200 years ago, which is around the time of the Haiti joint. You know what I mean? When Haiti's joint went off 20 years ago, this one went off, right? So Haiti went off first, or was pushed to go off, let's say, and then the Venezuela shit went down, and then Chile shit went down. But the difference with Chile and Haiti is Chile got guns. They already got an army.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the United States just can't run up in there and try to, do what they doing in Haiti.
Yeah.
And plus, they got an agreement with your man, what's that guy? Chavez.
Oh, yeah.
He's down with them too. They down. And then on top of that, Chile has got like the best produce, right?
Mhm.
But now that's kind of screwed it up. So people should look out for them trying to flip like food shortages or raise prices of fruit or some shit now, based on it. But like, where's the We Are the World? Where's the Hispanic We Are the World for Chile? You know what I'm saying?
That's not going down. Jennifer Lopez is too busy making fun of Rihanna.
Oh, where is she? She's going in on.
Yeah, she did a thing on Saturday Night Live doing the We Are the World, and she was singing like Rihanna.
Oh, damn, that's messed up. It's like one chick can't sing this and the other one. like, what's up with that? What part of the game is that, man?
Yup. She was going on Rihanna on Saturday.
Wow.
So, and then did you see this whole big uproar about this ad that T.I., the rapper T.I.'s new clothing line? He has an ad in New Jersey where it's a sister pulling a brother's pants down. That's an ad like she's on her knees and she's like pulling his pants down.
She's about to go in on them words. And it's what type of clothes you got?
It's for T.I.'s new clothing line that he just started.
So he's selling it with fellatio.
Yeah,
basically. I mean, he ain't the first. It's like, why niggas mad at him? But again, now that he's part of the police department, you got to do a lot of things now to try to make sure that his bread is buttered on both sides, man. Because you got a lot of obligations now.
Yep.
You got to still appear like he's not involved with them. So he's going to be even doing more. He's going to have like the mixtape, crazy street gutter stuff, and he's going to have like the nice poppy hip hop stuff. So that way he could appease both sides. But all these dudes, man.
You can't serve two masters. That's not happening.
Nah.
That's not happening. Nah. And just off the bat, people are already like, you just do common math. You get 20 years for a silencer alone without a gun. You know what I'm saying? He had guns. He had semi-automatic machine guns with silencers.
Yeah. He had bullets, too.
Yeah, and rounds.
He had each bullet, right? Wasn't that the move at one time?
Yeah. Come on. Like, the average Joe Blow, the average brother get caught on the street right now with a regular old handgun, a regular pistol, they giving you about 5 years.
Word. Wayne got to do a year. And allegedly the gun wasn't even his.
Exactly. They just found it, and they just, put it on him. He just happened to be the one that's going to be a fall guy for it. Kind of like what happened with the homie, Prodigy. Same thing.
Right.
They just found the gun in the vehicle and they, put it on the most known dude. Oh, well, he's going to go down for it.
Right.
And even him, he got more time than that. He's been in jail for like 2-3 years now for that same gun.
Yeah. Silk the Shocker, too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them. Yeah. Him, too. Just going in.
Gucci Mane is locked up.
Again? He went back?
Yeah, he came out, released his album, and then went back in.
Wait, he's back in jail right now?
Yeah, he's in jail right now.
What is this revolving door policy with rappers in jail? When did it?
That's what I'm talking about.
What kind of furlough program is this? Like, how come more brothers and sisters? There's mad brothers and sisters nicer than all these dudes in the joint right now. Huh? So
all these guys are just going in and out of jail, or they're in jail. Gucci Mane is in jail right now. Lil Wayne, I think, goes to jail today or tomorrow or something like that.
That's crazy.
But that's
like,
a part of the hip-hop culture, that's a part of this whole new hip-hop is you got to be gangster, you got to be street, you got to have 50 guns on you, and you got to go to jail, and you got to be associated with some type of gang. Mm-hmm.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. But I'm also seeing that a lot of this stuff started to become prevalent in the community once brothers started being on some party like a rock star, started like being on that, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that whole I get wasted, all of this fake skull, we rockers thing is going down, and it's like you're imitating the people who stole it from the real rockers. Like Chuck Berry wasn't walking around with skull and balls and shit. You know what I mean? He was on that shit on the low, on the practitioner side or whatever. Mm-hmm. Him and Robert Johnson, Johnny Farmer, all of these old school dudes who was using the voodoo to protect themselves from the satanic Zionist Jews that was coming out of the gang culture through Meyer Lansky and them, who started with the bootlegging thing, and they was moving the bootlegging, the illegal liquor, him, Kennedy, you know what I'm saying? All of these dudes, Kennedy, yeah. My friend, you don't want to go to bed, but you gotta go. All of these guys running all of this illegal liquor back and forth for Capone and them, who at the time was under the jurisdiction of the Vatican, because all that mafia shit, that old American shit, all that shit is Vatican run. So when that dude came through, they noticed all of these little, what they call blind pigs, which was like where all of the blues musicians, the Mississippi Delta blues, and all of that original dark matter, hoodoo type music these dudes was doing. And these Jews realized, this shit eventually will turn into some next level shit if we don't find a way in. So they created the whole, they perfected the record making stuff that they took from the same black men that designed the typewriter and created the phonograph shit. And then they used the black rubber carbon that they was getting from Belgium from King Leopold and them raping the Congo. Exactly. Taking that dark matter and they putting this dark matter energy on top of that and then selling that to the people, to the point where the black people got so into it that the white dudes, again, got to start, and then they started just making songs, and these white guys would come in and make the songs mainstream, But it got to the point where even the white musicians, because the white warlocks and Satanists in Europe, England in particular, all them niggas grew up listening to Muddy Waters and Robert Johnson and, Lead Belly and all these dudes. And the type of music they thought they was playing that. You know what I mean? They thought they was playing blues up until MI5 said, no, nigga, this is called rock and roll now. We're trying to, use this as a mass possession thing, And then people that wasn't with it got took out. Meanwhile, the old black musicians and all these niggas, they get pushed to the side just like the founders of hip-hop. Jazz, to the point these niggas now, Duke Ellington couldn't read. I think Brother Zell told me this. Duke Ellington couldn't read, and he was thinking about trying to, go to school, learn how to do it. So he ran into some brother on the street playing, the horn or whatever. And he stepped to the nigga, was like, "Yep, I'm trying to go to school, learn how to do it." He said, "Look, man, just learn how to play how you play." He said, "Eventually they'll come to you." And he did that, and through his bootleg Masonic thing, he was able to get to a level. But because the man was so talented, he wound up turning into Frank Sinatra's handler. That's why Frank Sinatra is where he at. Frank Sinatra is like Justin Timberlake now. You know what I'm saying? Only thing is he was deep into the whole, satanic thing, through his celebrity version of Catholicism or, the things that they do. Because everything is a mask for the other, And to this day, you know what I'm saying? The same techniques they use is the same techniques they use. If you look at a contract from back, in 1930, and look at a basic contract they give to niggas now, it's the same damn contract.
Yeah. 20 years of servitude.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, it's the same people, man. It's the same system. That's what I'm trying to say. So it's like when niggas get in, they get to a level, to the point now I'm seeing that the whole Illuminati thing, so-called Illuminati thing, has backfired, and these people like Jay-Z and these people is like trying to speak out, like,
I'm not down with that.
Like, nah, that's not real.
Don't blame it on everybody else except themselves. Somebody else, the director. I had nothing to do with it.
Yeah. But it shows you how powerful we as the so-called metaphysical conscious community really is. I hope everybody is really paying attention to that, because it really shows you that your thoughts and your analyzations and your outlook on what these people are putting out there has now got to the point where these niggas are starting to look whack by doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like 2 years ago, he'd have came out with On to the Next One video. People would have thought it was like next level genius.
Best thing since sliced bread.
Now that Christian rapper came out and heaped him, and now it's like everybody is a rap.
Yeah.
Nope. Nobody's safe. They call it. They went in on a Lil Wayne ritual. They went in on, and this is like regular shit now. Yeah. I mean, look at that We Are the World ritual, man. They literally Kanye literally dressed like it was him. Everybody was in this wearing basically the same clothes niggas was wearing. Like, people think that all that shit sold. That's what I'm saying. Like, what y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna do a Spanish one for Haiti, for Chile now? No, you ain't gonna do that. The Chile got their own guns, and they sell their own coke and everything else. You know what I'm saying? And
they got their own slave trade going.
They ain't been right up in there since the whole, what was it, Pinochet.
Yeah, Pinochet.
You know what I'm saying? When they went in on him, they ain't been right really since then. But people,
the president blew up the White House that they got down there.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? And again, whenever these people use that earthquake shit, I'm saying that this is like 2010 thing. Like, people got to realize that this whole so-called end-time program that they got everybody transfixed to has been building up since that whole War of the Worlds broadcast that Orson Welles did back in the day. Like, ever since then, and that was all funded by, let's say, the military-industrial complex, which just came into power after Eisenhower had to leave. Eisenhower, who was a black man, whether these people want to believe it or not, and he was down with a secret order called the Brothers of Elysium, the Elysian Brotherhood, which is a corrupted version or a unsanctioned version from Randolph's Brotherhood of Euless order, in which the brothers, Eisenhower, those type of guys, they believe in the whole amalgamation thing, and so they, practice what they call mulattoism, where they were trying to, create barracks, and he was a product of that. That's why, at the end, he came out on the radio and went in on them niggas. He was like, just to let you know before I leave, these military-industrial complex niggas are destroying your country, so you really need to get ready because they're not playing. Yeah, I'm surprised they let that nigga live for that. To tell you the truth, because that wasn't scripted. You know what I mean? He just freestyled that. You know? But at least he was warning niggas. You think this nigga Obama would do that?
Nah.
You think this nigga Obama going to get on TV and tell you, yo, you know, get ready because I had to go to Germany last week and ask them for their help to bring them over here to lock y'all niggas down when I flip this money shit after April. Like, you think he going to tell y'all that? Nope.
Nah. No, I don't think so. He just signed another executive order giving more money to those, you know, those black Greeks, them dudes in them colleges that, you know, want to bark like dogs and all of that. He just gives them some more bread.
Boule get their money. He look out for them. You know? But there's been rumblings about the whole thing that happened before he got in, the alleged gay thing where he was, but they found that dude dead. The dude was an intern, wink wink, for for his burgeoning administration. They found this nigga dead before he came in. I mean, people need to really do the knowledge, man. When you reach a certain degree of notoriety, you gotta look at the individual and then look around him to see how many people who was with them while they was rising to that apex is dead. You know, you really gotta really do that because that's how you show you how far in the game or on the totem pole they are. The more niggas you get bodied or jammed up or locked up or dead or strung out, i.e. to sell their soul, the higher in the game you can get, which means then the more you have to appear the opposite. So imagine that type of strain alone is creating alters in the individual's mind that then are susceptible for implantation of demonic entity, which really a demon is really only the shit that you don't deal with individually, you know, that you let fester, and then it gets a personality, and then it begins to work with whatever other malefic entities are around you to then help you fulfill its agenda, which is ultimately your destruction. That's why any movie that you see about a nigga selling out, the nigga always wind up dead, because that's what they get for service. You know what I mean? Right. That's yeah, you know what I mean? The big easy, like, it's a wrap. That's why people, again, they should really look into things like people don't know that George Orwell, in 1984, one of the consultants on that project was James Baldwin. And James Baldwin was telling him about what was going on at Cabrini Green and the projects and shit like that. And that a lot of that went into that 1984 shit. He met her through another chick who was named Margaret Sanger, who was the Nazi slave monarch child of Dr. Green. The infamous Dr. Green. You know what I'm saying? Who, if people don't know that's Joseph Mengele, who was lovers with another guy named Isels, another Nazi, and Isels was the guy who killed Bob Marley. See what I'm saying? So, again, you know what I mean? As soon as he seen Bob Marley, when Bob Marley came for the treatment, wink, wink, he said, oh, you're the most powerful black man in the world. See? That's all I had to hear. If I was Bob, I'd be like, time to go.
Well, who was telling him to stay in there?
Exactly.
Even though the dude was torturing him, who told him to stay?
Who made him stay? That would let you know who was down with it. But again, a lot of these
young lady.
These niggas, you know what I'm saying? These niggas don't want to know, though. I don't think his children want to know.
Nah.
To keep it real, I don't think so. And I know people who know them, and since I've been down here, you know, they've been talking about, you know, setting something up with that, but I don't really see that happening, because I don't really think niggas want to know what's up like that. Because, see, the problem with knowledge is once you know certain shit, you got to do something about it. You know what I'm saying? So, essentially that's what's going on with that. I'm Pete. And then they had another special, being that now Black History Month is over and only people that celebrated really was the crackers.
Yeah, on the niggas' demise.
Yeah, well, they did.
The niggas, John Mayers and
have chicken party. Dress up in blackface, all types of
white dude beat the dude. Did you hear about this thing where the white guy beat the brother up on the bus, and now he's about to get like a reality special on TV?
Some Bernie Getz niggas, or
yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? This Neo Bernie Getz dude, white guy, beats a brother up on the bus, and now they're about to like give him a series on like VH1 on one of these channels. Where they're going to be following him around.
See. So again, anything you do to a black man can lead to a reality show. But if you're a black man on a reality show, you always get kicked off, or you're always crazy.
Anything you do will lead to your destruction.
And again, this chick Monique got like 23 awards now for this precious shit. And once she gets the Oscar shit, that's it. So any of y'all sisters that care about y'all images and care about how you are perceived in the world, I would suggest that y'all start a petition against, well, not even against, anti-precious campaign that is going to show a balanced view of what you are, because you are now the next on the chopper block in terms of the problems now in American society. It's always us, as the black male. But because we have been taught that what happens to us really is not important, as much as we want to act like we want to, it's really not us, because I think that when we go against each other as men, what used to happen was that the matriarch or the feminine aspect would come in and speak on behalf. That's how the whole lawyer shit started. It's like when we got too heated to build with each other, then the queens would come in and then they would rally and then they would talk whatever and negotiate on our behalf. You see what I'm saying? That's how the whole women's circle thing started. That's how the whole men's circle thing started once we became more and more materially orientated. But now, everything is conducive to the idea now that the black woman is the concubine of the white man. And she, at least in mainstream media, is totally down with that. So any black woman who is into now, preserving your own culture, or let's say being, so-called marrying black, these are the new terms, marrying black, and, something new, all of these catchphrases, these trigger words are there to entice you to this new agenda. So that way the white woman could be the basic queen and the one on top, but you, the black woman, you could be his concubine, and then together y'all support him. But meanwhile, she's looking at that other white man, you know what I'm saying, or that little white baby, or, whatever else he's doing. They are still not the primary focus, but they'd rather be in that position than not, And again, the latest award Monique got for Precious, she got from the NAACP, so that's telling you who's supporting this. NAACP is the board of directors is all Ashkenazi Jewish people. There's no black people running that organization. The last head of the organization was named Ben Jealous. He was lighter than Bill Clinton. He was the lightest black man I've ever seen. And his name was Ben Jealous. And besides that, they are also funded by Mossad and B'nai B'rith, the other so-called Jewish organizations at the very top. So again, it's another Blu-ray B'nai interface point. And when you receive an award from those type of people, you're basically in the whole Ebony Jet, black enterprise, black actor, sphere of influence.
I gotta just, not to cut you off, but just to interject,
Nope.
I see there's a lot of going back and forth in the chat room with a brother or a sister, I don't know, or someone, I should just say, you know, because even if they're not my brother, they a brother. They may not be my brother. You know, we could use that term, but there's this person. I just wanted to, you know, just to let the person know, you know, before we have to kick you out. You know, if you want to, you can call in, you know, during the calling time and ask any questions you would like. But any type of interruptions in the chat room, you know, we're not taking that. You know, you have to kind of, you know, cool that out.
Mhm.
All right, you know, back to the schedule program.
No, it's good to know that because a lot of people, because there's so many. That's a good point too, because I was getting into something about media and broadcasting and stuff. People don't realize that what we consider what this thing is, blog talk radio, falls. People say, okay, that falls under freedom of speech. It does to a certain degree, but really, public broadcasting is is one of the last sovereign, let's say, entities that exists in terms of people being able to express ideas or varying opinions. Yet, public broadcasting, what really saved it in media, you know, was Elmo. You know, Elmo was the rallying point that people kind of used when the corporations like Universal and Viacom were basically trying to buy out all the public slots. When the mothers and grandmothers and babysitters and shit realized that Elmo was going to get taken off TV, it started a lightning bolt of energy in which people really came out aggressively against the corporate takeover of it. And then based on that, what they decided to do was create their version of public broadcasting. That's what that era America was about. But to do that, they had to start by getting rid of WLIB. You know what I'm saying? So essentially, when people are doing these blog talk radio shows and, you know, we're talking and stuff, and people come in with agitation, a lot of times as a host or as host of it, you have to be kind of selective as to how much of that content is going to be allowed to exist in your show, because a lot of these people are agitators that are, again, agents of disinformation. This don't necessarily mean that they are part of the government. They may just be a person who's really into consciousness, but their motivations are skewed. Therefore, their perception of what they're hearing us talk about is skewed, and therefore they try to come out and say, "Oh, well, you know, you bashing women," or, you know, you bashing men. And it's like, I'm saying that men and women is fucked up equally. I'm saying that we are all works in progress. We are all totally screwed up. You know what I mean? Equally. You know, just because, I mean, people act like men don't get raped. People act like, you know, men don't feel pain. But as a man in society, in Western society, especially, let's say, as a so-called black man or Moorish man, what we are dealing, see, as a black man, you're dealing with everything with no knowledge of why all of this shit is coming at you. As a Moorish person, you know why all this shit is coming at you, and at the same time, you have to navigate and negotiate the difference to how these things are going to affect you. Because our perception of who and what we are is what most times dictates the situation we get ourselves in. So if you're an aggressive, if you're a militant person, you're going to be a militant more. If you're a militant person, you're going to be a militant 5%. You're going to be militant in whatever you do. But militancy calls about a certain time, space experience, just like passiveness, just like aggressiveness, just like neutrality. You know what I'm saying? So it's, you know, when niggas calling in or when people calling in with some extra stuff, I'm just saying, really listen to what we're talking about before you fly off the handle thinking that you're saying something that's, you know what I'm saying, trying to just turn people against each other, because there's mad other shows you can go to for that.
True indeed. There's definitely a lane for that somewhere.
Or there's mad lanes for that on Blog Talk right now. There's mad shows you go to, curse at people and just wild out if you want. But this is not that show.
Very much so.
The other thing I think go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say in other news, you know, after the homie, the things that we were speaking about last week with the two interlopers that snuck into the White House for the party. Yeah. One of the main organizer of the function, she recently just stepped down, her sister.
Mhm. Yeah, they scapegoated her.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's the party planner and all that.
Mhm.
She's also Eastern Star. She's also a Delta. Yeah, but the thing with that is, again, going back to 1984, that book was very good because it was one of the first books to describe a form of government or intergovernmental language that in law is called legalese, but in politics, things like that. A doublespeak is a good word to describe it. It's when you are saying something that sounds really good, but then it means like something totally different. Like when he's talking about executive privilege that these people allegedly had. When you read the stories about them, it says that they had executive privilege. That's why they were able to get up in there. But that's what they claim. Executive privilege on the low means like special sexual favors. You know what I'm saying? It don't mean that they had a certain degree of class or clout that they was actually able to do. No, this means that they was involved in one of the bacchanals or orgies or whatever they had, and they showed good stamina. You know what I'm saying? So you want to keep them around for after the party or whatever. Just like when he says shovel-ready projects, for instance. That's talking about. That's talking about like killing people in mass usually. And if people don't believe me, recently it came out in Reuters as well as Chicago Tribune, as well as the Times. You check it online. They were talking about how Obama had the same power Bush had to be able to order the massacre of villages and children, things like that. So these are some of the things that are said, in terms of how they're spoken. I mean, really look back at some of them campaign speeches when this dude was flipping the bird whenever he talked about Hillary and McCain and these dudes, But then at the same time, you screaming on this nigga being your cousin, but then the minute this nigga have his 20th heart attack, you right by his bedside. You know what I'm saying?
Very true. So
but again, go ahead.
Nah, so I was going to comment on this. When you say, like, as far as, like, the double speak is concerned, that's basically, like, saying one thing, but for those who truly understand what you're saying, they understand the underlying meaning of the true statement.
Right.
As you mentioned,
it's being able to analyze people's consciousness or ease people's fears by speaking to them in language that masks what you're really doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like saying that you're happy when you're really sad, or saying that you're sad when you're really happy. It's just that you got to know what those words mean. This is a form of communication they call neuro-linguistic programming. It's a means of communication through subterfuge. It's also a form of Masonic code. Like everything else these people have to do. There's a book. Well, it's not really a book. It's it was a so-called governmental document that was passed around by these people in the NSA and CIA and I think Justice Department too, at least in the research I did on it. Anyway, it's called the Human Resource Exploration Manual. There's a movie people could get called A Box. I really suggest people go out and see that. It's out now, I think. You should really do the knowledge to it because it's very serious. And the movies that they're doing now, the movies that they was doing in 2009 was more like getting people to get into what the hidden meanings was and all of that. And then when we started busting everything down, they started seeing that the people were now aware of what they were doing. So they had to now go from, let's say, a red operation to a green operation. The green operation now is to, now that we have already known it, you have to now put it in everything in society. Because essentially, they're trying to say that the more that you find out about it, the more in that world you are, the more you become. So the Human Resource Manual, Exploration Manual, is something that they created that is basically a guide to show you how you can turn a human being into like things like a portal or an altar or a what they call a post-human or praetor intelligence. It's about using the God force in the human being as a military application. And now, because we have cracked the whole melanin code, they're in a race against time. Because the more we figure it out, the more the melanin is activated. And then the more our melanin activates everybody else. So anything they do got to start and end with us because we're the base genetics of everybody else. So if you want a pure strain of something, you can't go to the copy or the clone. You got to go to the original. But in order to get the original to give up its DNA, you got to make the DNA seem like it's nothing. Therefore, the dehumanization of people and the humanization of machines that you see on TV and all of that today. So Terminator was about the machine coming back to kill the human, and then Matrix Part 2 to the Terminator was the human going back to kill the machine. Because it's a form of sex between both that then turn into a cybernetic organism that can then give birth to a hybridized artificial organic intelligence. And when we really get into it as original people in that, as pi in the equation, we have to begin to love ourselves and want better for ourselves. And imagery is the first step in taking that back. Our imagery is all fucked up. Our imagery is just all over the place. It's like a black woman can't be on TV if she's not naked. She can't. You can't have a magazine with a black woman on the cover where she ain't got her titties and shit out. You can't do that. That's a shame. Especially for our sisters, especially for the young ones. I mean, I seen something on TV where a younger sister was saying she wished she was light-skinned, so, people would think she was cool. She was crying. Yeah. And what can Tyra really say? I mean, it's great Tyra has that on the show and she's showing that, but at the same time, you promote that Tyra on America's Next Top Model. True. You see what I'm saying? So, again, she's playing both sides. She's playing the middle pillar in the game. Because I got pictures of her with devil horns and shit on. You know what I mean? You can't be around all of them fashion people and not be engaged in the bacchanals and all that stuff. It's good she had a good mother and father, it seems, that kept her away from certain things. But, again, man, you don't put a condom on unless you're ready to have sex. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Keep it real. It's the only time you even think about this shit. So, and some people don't even do that. You know what I'm saying? So let's really be serious about what's really going on. We are all actively participating in the crucifixion of ourselves through media, through aggressive, negative media campaigning. And because we're getting checks from it, we got to be okay with it. Well, people think it's okay. So again, niggas will get mad at me and you talking about, you know, what we may be seeing women doing. But at the same time we do that, we're talking about men, but people don't hear that. People only hear the women part. You see? And that's the feminism aspect of the whole game. The automatic defense trigger that makes it seem like because I'm talking about what you're doing as a woman, I'm attacking all women, or I'm trying to oppress you as a woman. No, I'm not doing that. I'm pointing out your flaws the way you're pointing out mine. You know? But equality in terms of, right, because we both under the same control. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Well, how's your shit? Your shit feel like it's tighter, so you know what I mean? It is, but it may be because you're pulling against it so hard. You know what I mean? Maybe if we both pull at a certain pressure, we could pop the chain. But instead, we keep talking about whose chain is more dirty, whose chain is more. You know what I'm saying? That's bullshit. Then they flip the other aspect of that now, because at the same time you have black men and black women that cannot be paired together. You have a black man and black woman allegedly running the country. So there's this dual perception of, okay, there's a black man running the country, but most black men are still so-called animals. Because when you keep pairing yourself with other people that are not of your own, let's say, genetic background, at least in our modern Western philosophized war that we've been going through, you know, in the context of that, if you are getting with this chick and you see her as a white girl and she sees you as a black man, then you are both getting together under the pretense of a race. I don't give a damn how much you love him. I don't give a damn how much you love her. In the end, when the shit goes down, you know what I mean, you're going to be forced to deal with what side of the fence you're going to be on. And most of these so-called Caucasian males are being trained to take the black man's place. And because the black woman is believing things like he is dead and in jail and gay, at the same time, if that's the case, then how is it that we're only talking about black men like that? They're telling black women basically, well, there's no black men, so you got to start fucking other people if you want to be happy, right? Yeah. So then the black woman's like, okay, I'm going to do that. But if that's the case, then how come they never hear them say, well, there's not too many good white men, so white women, you need to start going to black men. They're not telling the white woman that. The white woman is just doing that because she knows what the white man is doing. Because she's down with the plan, because she don't want to really be with him anyway, because he scares her, because he kills her all the time. So she's very, fuck it, I'll choose up with this thing, because she really knows what the black man is. She'll do anything to be possessed by the black man. Whereas the black woman want to act like that's making her inferior. But the same woman who created that mentality got a man. Gloria Steinem got a man. Gloria, these feminist bitches got men. Hillary Clinton got a man. You know what I'm saying? So again, if this is the case and black women are buying this, where are your statistics? Where are you getting these figures from? What journal, what statistician have you talked to get these figures when 85% of the so-called black population don't really interface with the government outside of things like welfare and social services? They don't fill out census shit. They don't want to do jury duty. They don't, you know what I'm saying? The only interface black people have with the institution is through some form of service or work, whereas Caucasian people get the benefit of all of that. And I have not met one Caucasian person yet that is willing to go against that to the point that they are, at least in my lifetime, that I've seen difference in my community, in my neighborhood. I've never seen it. I've never seen a police officer help anyone. I've never had a semi unrestrained conversation with a police officer. I've never felt apart or safe when they were around. If anything, I felt the tension go up.
Yeah.
So I'm not special. I'm not crazy. Everybody else see that. But I don't see any Caucasian. Look, we was talking about this earlier, too, with the Dr. Sebi thing. If Dr. Sebi cured cancer, AIDS, herpes, gonorrhea, right? Some other shit, too, right?
Mm-hmm.
I forget the other stuff he cured. But if he cured all of that, and he is a black man, he's out here still out doing shit, still helping people, how is it that none of these so-called black leaders that are suffering from these things go to him in the public view and big him up?
Mm. They
always go after they fucked up, like Farrakhan and the rest of these dudes, and try to get from him. Right. Which, again, that's that boule shit.
Yeah.
That's that black-white man shit.
Like, there's no reason that, these people shouldn't be putting, their brother's work out there like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you go, you always see these people, they on TV with all these different yogis and whatnot, and, there's these different people that, these yippies and whatnot that went to India and studied, and now they're a yogi. You see them, but, they don't got the brother, and he went to court.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They tried to bring him to court. Exactly, and he won.
And won. So, but again, Sophia Stewart won the Matrix case, but they still about to come out with the 5-set DVD at the end of the summer. So as much as she won on the material fiction realm, it's what they would call a Pyrrhus victory. Pyrrhus was a Etruscan king who eventually won a war, but the cost of the war was so high that most of his soldiers wound up dead. So anytime you win something where you almost lose, it's a Pyrrhic victory. So it was a Pyrrhic victory in the sense that these people, we have achieved a certain degree of monetary system and the so-called system, but all the devil really did was switch tactics. Instead of an exclusionary tactic, it became an inclusionary tactic. So if you want to be down with me, I'm going to keep you out. But now that I got to let you win, if you want to be down with me, you got to do this. And it's an unspoken thing that most black people and people of color or people of ethnic background allow themselves to be absorbed into. And that whole thing itself is an entity that breeds things like feminism, misogynism, rape, murder, and all of these other things that we are all allegedly products of, when that's not true. We are not animals at heart. We go through stages in which we look like a tadpole or a frog or a monkey in the womb, but we're talking about over 9 billion years of evolution. And you want to tell me that because I'm dark-skinned and this so-called monkey is dark-skinned, that I'm related to it in some way, when if I shave it, it's white just like you. And whenever you do basic line experiments, you got to do experiments on it because it is your direct ancestor.
Or the pig. They got like pig. So white people walking around with pig livers right now.
That's right. Or the pig. You know what I'm saying? Which again is a whole another aspect of this time in which we talk about how Saturn is directly in Libra right now. And what it's doing is making it where you can't really hide nothing. If you're not really on the up and up, you're going to get found out. So it's better to just be who you are in the moment and not get caught up in the intrigue, because now is the time where, again, these white people is going to be looking at time in this Haitian jail trying to steal his baby. They wouldn't have been able to get with that. They wouldn't have been able to get away with that. They would have got away with it a couple of years ago. But the shit that shifted. This 8.8 earthquake at Chile event, it subtracted about 6 minutes off the day based on a 3-inch differential in the axis, which means now the Earth is in a totally different galactic place.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, we are in a totally different galactic time in which it hit the very tip of the country. Because, again, we look at maps upside down. So technically, Chile, the south is actually the top.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, again, this is going to affect the top down, and this Afghanistan thing they're doing on a mundane material level is just to divert people away from what it is they got to do over here, because, again, the money thing is very, very serious, and people need to realize that your Secretary of Treasury is technically under walking house arrest right now, doing his job, trying to figure out a way to hide more money before they either, what do you call that? They either 86 him, or they try to Jason Bourne on him, try to turn him into somebody else. Like, okay, nigga, you're not Geithner no more. You're Gertner. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's serious, y'all. It's real serious.
Yeah. And, all the new listeners, if they didn't get a chance to, please check out episode 4. The brother goes into deep detail on a lot of the things he's talking about now as far as the currency is concerned.
Yeah.
He has a snippet of that on his YouTube page. Check that out as well.
Thank you, brother. That's exactly what this is about. It's always about money, but the money on the material is the control on the physical, and that's the ritual that's keeping everything going. And these niggas print money every day, so it don't matter. So those of us that love it enough to allow the lower God in ourselves to turn us to low vibration, magicians who act high, because these people who do these rituals and all this crazy stuff, they think they're high and shit. But again, their reward for it ultimately is death. You see what I'm saying? Your reward for, let's say, white magic or the right hand path is everlasting glory in the house of the righteous. So there's no comparison to that. And the reason why a lot of these people don't realize what the precious thing is, that was a trigger for them. Look at people, do research. Look at the average per capita of how many precious-like scenarios took place in the real world after that movie. How many black men and black women ready to killing their babies and wilding out like that? And read all of the stories in the process of how it happened. They all read the same thing. Oh, this person was always disturbed. Or, oh, I never thought that the person could be like that. Or, this person we saw no signs of this type of behavior. Because all of the black people are not serial killers by nature. That is not what we were put here to be. You understand? Those of us that are participating in these low vibration forms of trying to attain some type of material power, to be some type of wizard or some bullshit, that is an illusion. And they know it. So what they got to do is they got to get people like us to agree to it by force if necessary, which then makes it real for all of us. So we got to find ways to really not get so deeply involved in which you feel you got to give blood to some shit or cut somebody or, you know what I mean? That shit is crazy. Get a Randolph book, man. Read about what he was talking about with this type of shit. Read about what Noble Jolly was talking about this shit. You know, I've met Masons, yo. I met me and the Queen one day. We cussed out this white man because we got these low rider bikes and he tried to sit on one of them. So she cussed this dude out so bad he wound up going in shame. But he was standing there with two South African black people, and they did not sit on the bike. And then when she wound out on him when I came out, they were the ones who apologized and shit. He walked away. So sitting behind us was this black man sitting with his sister, And he was like, yeah, brother, I want to buy you and your queen a drink, man. That was really dope. More of us need to be on it like that. So it was like, okay, well, you know, we don't turn down nothing but your coke collar. So we go and we sit down and we start talking to the brother. Turn out he's involved in some type of, I don't even know. But I do know this nigga had briefcase with the hammer and shit. You know what I'm saying? With the hammer and shit. And then he had a certain type of passport that I've seen certain so-called sovereign people have. But he was sitting there. I was just talking to him about how, you know, the Moors and things like that. So he was involved in some type of thing, but I don't know. But what I do know is just in a brief conversation with the person, he revealed how, because, you know, you let niggas talk over liquor, they just talk. So this nigga was talking about how, you know, yeah, I participated in rituals and, you know, I participated in human sacrifice and shit like that. Like, this shit is really going on in the black community, yo.
Mhm.
You know? Institutional, hybridized, satanic, gray, Zionist, black, boule type of shit or ancestral rape has been going on in black communities since for the past about 200 years. You know, which happens to be around the same time these people came into prominence. You know what I'm saying? So it can't just be, it was no damn serial killers in Morocco, man. You only got killed if you try to have sex with a nigga wife or try to steal his cattle or some shit. And even then, they just cut your hand off.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's right. I'm saying I can't judge that with a 21st century mentality. Those people was dealing with some whole other shit.
Yeah.
You know, which led to what we in now. So,
yeah.
You know, people be caught up, man, and the wrong stuff, yo. Meanwhile, these white girls are coming in, getting all y'all men, rubbing it in your face. Every time I see the Kardashian show, there's this one black girl that be around Chloe like a little page, like a little slave and shit, carrying her bags. They don't even tell you this girl's name. It's been 2 seasons. I don't even know this girl's name. I don't know who she is. But what I do know, she carrying this bitch bag, taking pictures of her, seeing her marrying this big 9-foot white man, black white man. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. She don't got no man. Yeah. She got to be asexual.
Say that again?
I said she don't got no man. They gonna make her look asexual.
Yeah. Yeah. They make the black woman look like she'll be with a monster. Then I see cartoons and shit. The black woman is always with a damn monster. She always with a frog. She always with like a kissing a donkey or something. She always doing some shit where she's not a human. And she allow herself to look. She allow that. I'm not making her do that. I'm not making these women go to the strip club and do their thing. I'm not making these women cheat on their men. I'm not making these women steal people's babies. I'm not making women molest their children. That's the other part of it that people don't talk about. When mothers molest their children, we always hear about the fathers. You know what I'm saying? That's why the Precious thing was so crazy, because what it did was it showed all of the traumatic slavery shit. Like Paul Mooney said, he said, you can't get no deeper than slavery. He said, you can't top that. Mm-hmm. He said, you can't top that.
I mean, they know I'm Precious, too.
With the demon shit.
Yeah. You said, just reading a couple lines of this, I knew some demon wrote this.
You see how people are talking now?
Yeah, you know, the whole, everything has changed. The language has changed, you know?
Yo, 2 years, people gonna be having sex on three and a half men and shit like that. Like, niggas gonna be totally assed out. Like, it's gonna be straight up porn.
Yeah.
And I've watched it. Like, I've watched the whole porn thing evolve into the hip-hop thing. You know what I mean? Living it and watching it at the same time was just, it's been very surreal over these years, because you really get to see how it denigrated and how now it's trying to be resurrected. But it's going to have to become something else. It's going to have to be, hip-hop is going to be the basis, I think. But I think it's going to turn into like a whole other thing where, because Nietzsche said the new religion was going to be a music. Mm-hmm. So these niggas was looking for that. So the crack thing came out, but what that did was it created the music, which then hypnotized Western world, in which now they have to market everything through it.
Yep.
So now that they own it, it's got to evolve into something else. You know, that's why it's like as horrible as a lot of the music is, at least these niggas is getting paid, you know, on one end. But on the other end, they're getting paid based on, I'm looking at the result of their money. These niggas don't see what their money has got them, what has got them in the hood. Because niggas live their life by what they think these people are living and doing in these videos and shit.
Yeah.
And black men know that. Black women know that. You know that these white people look at you as the representative of your whole race. They don't look at no other people like that. So that gotta mean that you something, right? But no.
Only us, you know.
See, while they talking all this shit about it, there's not enough dark-skinned women in the game and shit is all fucked up for dark-skinned people. And I look at this pretty girl videos, nothing but light-skinned chicks. Like, nigga, what are you talking about?
And white girl.
And white girl.
You see, but just like you said, it's a quickening. You know, you can't hide. You know, don't. You know what I'm saying? Don't make your mouth write checks that you know you can't cash. Because he said that, but then he went and did something totally different.
Yeah, like why you could have did that? But no, you do what Jay-Z tell you to. You do what people think Jay-Z tell you to do, and just do anything to do that. Like I heard on the tour, these niggas like. They had no water. They had these niggas like with no food and shit. They had like one dressing room that was like the size of a closet type shit. And these niggas like really going through it. But I mean, damn nigga, you ain't see the tapes on Choke No Choke and all of these niggas going in on this dude. You don't know how he get down already? No.
Backstage and all that. That's that movie was called? I think Backstage, yeah. From back in the day. You know, on one tour and Jay-Z punching girls in the face and all that.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, this thing is not really going well. What are these people trying to accomplish?
The destruction of, you know, this not only, you know, this so-called reality, but ours in particular, just because they know ours is, you know, ours is the strongest. You know, so it's easy to, you know, if you can get, you know, young black males to, you know, look dehumanized, you know, you got little 15 and 16-year-old boys going to jail, you know, being charged as adults, going to jail their whole lives. You know, you got little, you know what I'm saying, young, you know, saying 16, 17-year-old brothers listening to all these different types of demonic music, getting charged up, going into the streets, looking for trouble behind a song that depicts that. Now, I'm not blaming the person who made the song. You know, I'm not trying to say it's their fault or anything. I'm not, you know, going into all the, you know, the right and wrongs or the particulars of that. But as far as the consciousness is concerned, this is what's the driving force behind our community, you know, and this is what's pushed towards us on a daily basis. Like, I looked on MTV the other day, and there's a song, and, you know, excuse, you know, what I'm saying, the words I'm about to say, but this is a song, you know, for the listeners, this is a song that's playing on national TV daily basis. It's a brother from the South, and the name of the song is He Got a Big, and He Know How to Use It.
Oh, yeah, you talking about Bone, yeah.
Exactly, and the artist's name is Bone, you know, how ironic, you know?
Yeah, the beat was running to that shit. And that beat is dope.
You know,
true indeed. That's dope. Like, this shit is dope. Like, it's hot.
know?
The whole song is about how his penis is real big, and he had sex with a girl, and now she's telling all her friends, and now he can have sex with all of them.
Yeah, you know, some sex magic, you know.
Exactly. White man heard that shit. Leo heard that shit. The nigga Russell heard that shit. It was like, Jesus. He's just like, it's the song of the year.
You know what I'm saying? But in the same instance, it's like, okay, if you put that on there, like, you know, like I heard an interview where one brother said where he was like, you know, just like us in, you know, times in memoriam where we would have our music that was, you know, socially aware and whatnot, you know, or even like, you know, bringing it back to like the blues, like you, like, you know what I'm saying, you was, you know, touching on earlier, where in the blues, you know, you would have songs, you know, a brother like, let's say, Robert Johnson, for instance, you know, he might have a song about women, you know, his troubles with women. He might have a song about, you know, the social commentary and whatnot, riding locomotives, you know, a song about him traveling and things of that nature, and very, you know, varying degrees and varying flavors that you can get. And this is all also from one artist. You know, now what I'm trying to say is, like, to have the amount of artists that we do that's out there now, you know, especially, you know, being that all these brothers and sisters are talented, why is it that you only getting, you know, I mean, I know the particulars behind, you know, the MTVs and the BETs, et cetera, but just as a whole, you know, even when you go, like how you were saying, you know, how now with the internet and whatnot and things of that nature, that's like the new medium. Since they just did a poll and they said over 60% of people don't even watch TV no more. They get all the information and they get all the entertainment from the internet. That brothers, you know, and sisters aren't, you know, from who's given a different perspective, aren't getting the chance to showcase their talent, even on the, you know what I'm saying, on the internet, you know, on these different types of blogs that goes all around and whatnot, the World Star Hip Hops and the different, you know, I don't even want to give them plugs like that, but the different, you know, websites and whatnot that's out there that showcase hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're only getting one, even in that, you know, with the internet, you're still only getting one view.
I'm saying, like, how is it that the deal on BET comes on at 3 in the morning? Who the fuck is gonna watch that? Like, you gotta tape it and watch that shit in the day. Like, why would you put that shit all the way on at 3 in the morning when hip hop is the dominant fucking shit?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you think you would want better ratings? No, because there's something with the programming now that they're under Viacom that they have to associate. But all the real hip hop shit is on Fuse and MTV Jams and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they playing all of that real shit. When really, that was shit that they never used to play when BET was owned by a person. It was by you know, humans.
But, yeah.
That's the other aspect of the game. We as original people have to claim our genetics, man. You know, let's stop having abortions for you and see what happens. You know, let's stop being in situations where we get all screwed up at each other based off some ancestral family shit that really has nothing to do with us. A lot of us get together based on ancestral agreements and pacts that were made that were supposed to live out through the children that were never fulfilled. And those pacts in the afterworld became daemons, and those daemons integrated in the demonic or malefic intent of the babies that were born to these parents. So there's certain ancestral things that have to happen in order for them not to happen anymore. But everybody front like it's not going down. Meanwhile, they putting everything out on Front Street. It would be one thing if we as a people were all mentally, let's say, in a way where we, let's say, had our own, and we put out a movie like Precious. Because then it would be a species thing where we do the knowledge to it and really figure out ways to destroy that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we're putting shit out without even knowing who and what the fuck we are. We're putting shit out as if we are on the same level or we are the same as everybody else. And we're not. And I'm not saying that everybody else is inferior, and I'm not saying we're superior. I'm just saying that we as original people in the hemispheres of America are not like anybody else in the world. And that we have the blood of everybody in the world in us, which is why we are the most creative and innovative in the world, and everybody copies us.
Mm-hmm.
So what's wrong with me as a black man, so-called black man, or more, coming out and saying that? See, for me to say that, then to somebody, let's say that's not melanated, or maybe even melanated, but a person with a Western philosophy will hear that as racism. When I didn't say anything about white people.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? It's the context that niggas put themselves in. You know what I mean? Like I was at lunch the other day with my family, and this cracker came out smoking a cigarette, and he's still right behind him more. And I'm looking at this, and we just ice dealing each other. And I mean like a real, like a cracker. You know what I mean? Yeah. But we ice dealing each other and shit. And then Selena was like, I know he's not. I said, no, he's not going to do that. He's not going to stand there and smoke right over my son's head like that. And then he was like, oh, what did you say? I said, you heard me. I said, I know you're not going to stand there and smoke over my son's head like that. He said, no, well, which way do you want me to move? I said, well, he said, well, which way's the wind blowing? I said, that way. So this nigga sat outside the window, sat down, and he was staring at me. I'm staring at this nigga. And then eventually he started talking to me from Alabama. He said, well, I realized that you had to be different, or you was from the South, based on your snakeskin cowboy boots. He said, I don't really see a lot of people in there. But the way he said people, I know he's talking about niggas, you know what I'm saying? So me, I'm like, yeah, you know. So we start talking, whatever. The point of my story is, they, as a people, know when you have knowledge of who and what you are. They deal with you different. Therefore, we as a people are different in some way. You see what I'm saying? So therefore, it's how we conduct ourselves and how we allow ourselves to be looked at and perceived is how we are eventually judged and redeemed. So because some people have no integrity and they'll just allow themselves to look like anything, Churchill Morgan will cop out, right?
Yeah, he will cop out to anything.
Right.
As long as he can get a check.
Yeah, he'll do anything, that guy. But some of these people will just do anything. Will Smith, these niggas will do anything, man. It's like you don't have no respect for yourself. And again, I'm with you. We're just using them as examples because they are the most prevalently used by our community as things to aspire to.
Yeah.
People aspire to be like Diana Ross. People aspire to be talent-wise. I'm talking about the person. People did not know Ray Charles was into bitches and drugs like that until that movie came out. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He ain't know he was pimping like that.
Yeah.
He just thought he was blind and his leg used to shake a lot on the Cosby Show. He didn't know he was going through all that.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't become real until Jamie made it real for us. You see what I'm saying? So now Jamie is Ray Charles.
Yeah.
So he needs
Bob
to
Marley
look
as well.
Yeah, this is what I'm hearing. They're trying to make this nigga Bob Marley.
Yeah.
He could do it, you know. But again, if he needs to watch out, man.
Yeah,
Niggas who do shit need to really do the knowledge. These niggas will turn you into that motherfucker.
Yeah, I heard somebody, I think they wanted him to play Fela as well.
Play who?
To play Fela Kuti, if I'm not mistaken.
Really?
Yeah, it was him or another brother.
I could see him being Fela more than Bob. You know, but even still, like, you gotta be careful when you up in there with them people, man. Mm-hmm. Once you hear people say, well, yeah, I was at the Playboy Mansion, you know it's stay in. That's your end. You gotta go through the grotto. Have sex with everybody up in there. But that's part of the ritual to get you turned out. So that way you become used to turning people out. Because again, if they get you in a compromising position, they make you do anything. Once you say, well, damn, I'm fucked up, I can't let nobody know, they got you.
Yeah. Wasn't the dude just doing that with Facebook? Acting like a female on Facebook, getting dudes to send them naked pictures and then extorting them and raping them?
Yeah, I heard about that guy. That's like that white doctor who got caught up in the pediatrician who's molesting all the little babies.
Big babies, yeah.
To 13 and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's also like them crackers they just put on trial for holding that girl captive for 18 years and having babies with her and shit. In Sweden and America.
Mhm.
This thing is definitely big, yo. And people really need to, we in the black community need to find there are programs that we can institute that some of us know how to do to be able to help people who are victims of that, as well as create programs to be able to protect people spiritually from this type of thing. Like for every social component we have, there needs to be a spiritual part of it that allows the person who, while they're raising themselves up materially, they are doing the same spiritually. You know, these are some of the things. But I don't hear Shout talking about that. I don't hear Wrangle talking about that. People don't know Wrangle, when he was a gang member, stabbed Adam Clayton Powell.
Yeah?
Yeah, brother. That nigga was a fucking piece of shit from early.
As it says in the Bible, they go astray as soon as they leave their mother's womb.
Exactly. That was the ritual that Al Sharpton went through after the Tawana Brawley thing, to make it seem like he was on that Adam Clayton Powell path. But the same thing happened to Adam when Rangel did it. He bounced and then he kneeled on the floor like that, and then everybody came around him, and then eventually, he didn't die, but yeah, Rangel did that shit. That was some type of bullshit bootleg hit or some shit. Look for this nigga now. He about to go to jail for tax evasion.
Yup. Wasn't he
just
in what they call it, trying to raise some money? Wasn't he like trying to raise money for Percy Sutton because they were trying to get him in something as well?
Yeah, allegedly that's
who ended up dead.
That's who allegedly sent Rangel to shank Adam Clayton Powell. Allegedly.
Charlie Rangel.
See, over a bitch. And I say a bitch because it led, when it came out, it led that she was an FBI agent. See what I'm saying? Under Hoover, who again was a black man.
COINTELPRO.
So again, it don't mean shit. So people, everybody's melanin they come from the same source, but based on your consciousness, it's only going to do certain things based on it. So we all are melanated, we all original, but not all of us are original people.
I think,
and the original people got to step up.
Yeah. We about to hit the 30-minute mark. You wanna go into a joint and then come back and we open up the lines for the people?
That sounds good.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna go into a joint. I'm gonna play another joint off of my LP that I got coming out later this year. Called Heinous Art. I hope people like it. And we're gonna get into that, and when we after this we're gonna go in and open up the phone lines, and I think there was a few things being said in the chat room, and we should address that as well. So, this one is called Heinous Art. I hope, everybody likes it, and we're going to be coming back in about the next 3 minutes. All right? To Heru Radio.
Physical position now, pushing you to listen like saccharite attention, mentioning penance that's missing now. Who gon' cross the borders, exposing you thinking orders? You sacrifice mothers, daughters for the forces of the focus. Watch out for mental disorder in this information age. Nobody wants to walk, everyone needs to segue. If you was a monitor, what goes underneath the monitor, you would know the time later, the times like a thermometer. Break the puzzle like Sudoku with a vocal. Get the princess back with that attack. Coast school, this is not to worry you of duties like what Jerry do. The shit was fucked up way before George W. Financial crisis taking like since 1922. Give me control of the money, who cares who make the laws? Rothschild told you, they do it on their own accord. While you drive behind the Accord, wishing you would get a reward for purchasing things you can't afford. Billions depend on the war, while closing down food for the poor. Got homies formed over, send back to the shore. Open your eyes before it's too late. Don't need to delegate a debate, just make sure your bearings are straight. No matter if it's fiction or fake, you still gotta date with the date. Akashic records what they use to relate. They know everything you ate off your plate. Then blame it on the goose or Patron with the grape. Not the great Jackie, more like the great escape. Like Nazis sneaking into South American states, forcing the natives to expatriate. The vocal lose the dopamine. Now you can't get cocaine locally. High potency, watch your moves, you can lose. No matter what you choose, if they turn up like vegetables, at your vestibule, except for you, action won't be ethical.
Hello? The people in the chat room hear me?
Yeah, man, that was hot.
Okay.
How many more joints you got to do for?
About 4 or 5. I mean, in total, because it's going to be a LP and an EP. The EP is going to come out first. The EP is basically done. Just need to get mastered. It's going to be after that. So.
Dope. When can the people expect to hear that again?
The EP should be out by, this summertime. Should be coming out June or July. Hope the, listeners and everybody who's supporting me bear with me. Everything is all independent, so, of course, we we struggling and grinding and, do our art. So, as the funds and the tools become, at our disposal, we use them and, put the things together and put them out. So that should be coming out in June or July. And the album or the LP, this is going to be coming out on vinyl and digital download only. That's going to be coming out towards the end of the year.
Nice. See, we just took my vinyl tonight. They had to get rid of that because that melanated.
Yeah. They can't deal with it.
The DJ's always touching that. It's like touching a black woman's behind and shit.
Mhm. Yeah, now they got the mechanical joints where you put the CD in and they got the little fake one and you just mix that. You don't even need records no more.
Mhm. See? The whole purpose of corporation is to make everything obsolete efficiently. You know what I mean? So, again, man, when you get down with that, you got to become part of that mind state because at the head of every corporation is a demonic entity that all of the corporate officers serve, which is why they can get all that money and not do no time and nothing else. If you think Bernie Madoff, that one Jew, was the only guy a part of that whole thing, when they do it again, and they give you another dude who they said did it, just remember that we said that you bugging.
Uh-huh.
If you believe that one guy is responsible for all of that stuff.
Exactly.
So, yeah, man, let's go to the phone.
Okay, so if anybody wants to call in, the number is 347-637-1184. Just a heads up to the person in the chat room. The name of that track is called Heinous Art.
Peace.
And thank you for the support. Okay, so we got 757-6369. You're on Super Heru Radio. Peace.
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 Yeah, real quick, I wanted to ask about Project Bluebeam, and do you see that coming to a head anytime soon?
Thank you for the call, brother. Yes, it is. It's already in effect. It started on January, according to the stuff I read. It started on January 1st, but it had a soft start, what they call a soft start, in 61. So essentially what it is all that UFO stuff, all of that monster stuff, all of that stuff was the CIA with the help of the NSA, with the help of Hollywood, created the whole UFO hysteria after the Roswell incident to make people believe that it was aliens from outer space about shit, to divert the people's attention away from the fact that all of those things were being built based on technology that the U.S. government acquired through their deal with the so-called Greys or whatever.
Right.
So Hollywood thing became the thing to hide that. But the actual purpose of the thing is to be able to use the myths that people believe in as military applications against the subject. So if you believe in Buddha, then they're going to create a thing through your profile, census-wise and everything else, to articulate your box, whether it's your HD box or your TV box or whatever type of box they're going to use. They're going to use that to beam that directly to you. And because it's a type of thing where if it comes out to you, remember in Star Wars when Obi-Wan got the message through R2-D2?
Right.
Where the little thing came out. Remember that shit? That's
right.
Exactly the type of shit they're going to be trying to flip on people. And people are going to believe that shit because one, they believe that they don't want to do anything themselves, first of all. So they're going to accept that, and they're not going to tell anybody, really, unless that person is there with them, because they don't want to go out and appear crazy to anybody else. So millions of people are going to get this specific image based on the deity they worship, allegedly, right? And then these people then do whatever this deity dictates them to do. Because people fill out everything. If you let a person talk, they'll just tell you everything about this without you even asking nothing. So Blue Beam, again, is just the final result, of this part of the agenda that we're going through, which is the earthquake thing. That's what the disaster movies was the preparation for. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So there's a movie, I don't know if you've seen it, called Capricorn 1, where it shows you how they faked the whole moon shit, as well as the James Bond movie Diamonds Are Forever. There's a scene in at the end where the nigga runs in on the Hollywood set when they faking the landing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they real with they shit. So thanks for the call, brother.
Peace.
Peace.
904-412, you're on Super Heru Radio. Peace.
Peace.
Peace. Peace.
Peace. Hello? Hello?
Peace.
I can't really hear you. You're like mad far away.
Yeah. The television is loud. If you could lower that down a little bit, please.
This is okay. Gone with the wind. You heard that?
Yeah.
The first Precious, according to Paul Mooney, was Scarlet, the Scarlet Woman in the Hell of the Babylon ritual, being played by a hidden lesbian, I forget her name, with the homosexual Clark Gable, who's the dude who turned out Rock Hudson.
Oh,
who was which is one of the first white boys to come out with the AIDS shit. He kind of set it off with the AIDS shit with the women.
Yeah, he was like known as the Mr. Masculine in all the movies, getting all the women and all that.
Yeah.
510-965. You're on Super Heru Radio. Peace.
Peace. How you guys doing tonight?
All right.
Peace, Queen. How are you doing?
I'm fine. I have a question for you, brother. My question, it's funny that you was bringing up the homosexuals, because it seems like they trying to put brothers and sisters, I don't know, I may be tripping, but it seems like they're trying to put them under some type of mind control.
They are.
Am I tripping or...
No, you're not.
Okay. Yeah, it seems like they're really trying to put us under some type of spoof. Like you're not supposed to think, just drop your drawers. Just do it.
That's right. You get low. Drop it like it's hot. Get low. All of what you're seeing, even when you look at the videos, like the new Ludacris video, he's Candyman coming out of the portal from the alternate dimension with two beautiful black demons gyrating around him, and he makes women rip their clothes off and shake their butts for him. And again, these are smart women going to college and all of that stuff. And these are young sisters that are doing it for not really any money, for something called exposure, which they never really get. You never really look at the girl. You only look at her body. And this is the not only the dehumanization now, we've gone from that now. Now we're to the level of we are not even, to the point, case in point, there's a commercial for Old Navy where a black woman is acting like a mannequin in an award show. And the mannequin, she wins, and the mannequin comes and says, no, you're not mannequin enough, and takes the award from her and kicks the black woman off the stage. So again, psychologically, we are being turned into automatons that they hope will be allowed to be herded into a certain area, and then have certain people with certain genetics taken out, and they become like the organ harvesters. They become like the organ base to produce, let's say, black children, melanated children for organ harvesting and stuff, or ritual use or whatever, whereas the rest of us wind up as slaves or worse, food. So they've been making movies about this, doing this to us since the Twilight Zone, you know. It's just that we're at the stage now where the melanin active has kicked in, and you as the black woman, as dark matter now, are seeing that you are more than what you maybe even thought you were, you know. So now that energy that you are feeling, or that change that you are feeling, is what everyone's feeling. But everybody is denying that feeling to get money. So if you want to have anything, you have to allow a certain degree of your harmony to be disrupted to get money, right?
Yes.
To get away from these people. But then when you get away from them and work on you, what happens is they find out that what you say is real, and then they come and try to be up under you. Or worse, they try to become you in their circles. So they'll keep you away from their friends, because if you're around, then their friends will see that they have copied your whole personality, and they are living you when you're not there with them.
Well,
and then they treat.
I don't live too far from San Francisco, and I used to work in San Francisco. And it's like when I would walk to the train station, I would see European lesbians chasing sisters down the street.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would see sisters that was lesbians chasing sisters down the street.
Yeah.
And I would
because
say,
that,
what is the hell is going on? This
were you
crazy.
Were you around the hate? Were you around the hate?
No, financial district.
Okay,
the financial district.
See? That's even worse. So that's telling you. Like the Wall Street Journal just put out a thing called Gay Wall Street. And they're talking about how everybody on Wall Street at the top of all this stuff is gay. Just like at the top of the fashion industry, Lagerfeld, Valentino, all them dudes is queens. But they're high, what they call high lords in their thing. But now even they have been taken over by the corporations and being forced into creating obsolete material. So this is not really, it's about us, but we are not. We are the first affected, and in the end, we are the ones, because we were here longest, all have to be the ones to, ascend out of this.
So
Yet in the meantime,
what should we do? I mean, the ones that's still heterosexual, like you and I and other brothers and sisters that's got wives and husbands and families and children. What are we supposed to do?
But see, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Sister. There's more of us that are actually heterosexual than gay. It's just that when we turn on the TV, that's all we see. So that's what we think is going on. And then those of us that are more susceptible to mind control, based on the degree of trauma and bloodline inclination and amalgamation and things like that, some of us are more susceptible to that. So then we copy, or they copy that in their own lives, and then bring that out. The same way I tell you, they copy your personality and live you when you're not around. Because we're not dealing with human beings anymore. Just because this person is melanated don't mean they come from the same divine source as the soul that you do. It means that they incarnated in a vessel and have a connection to you based on the material aspect of it, which is the evidence of the God particle, which is the melanin.
So you're saying that they chasing the ones that's straight because they want their soul.
Yes. That's what the whole rape thing is about. That's how you become a high lord. You have sex with a man, or you have sex with a woman, or you engage in a bacchanal, or they make you have sex with a goat, or you have to molest a child, or you have to be molested, or you have all of that stuff. People wasn't doing that. People in the native communities wasn't practicing none of that. All of that stuff happened whenever you let white folk live around you. So, because if you say that, like again, people who are in neighborhoods that are being gentrified now that are listening, start to notice in your community missing dog posters and cat signs, like missing cat, missing dog, things like that. Because whenever white folks start moving in your neighborhood, the first thing they do is start taking the dogs, start taking the animals. People don't know that. People don't know that the ASPCA can carry guns and can kill you. That's a part of the Parks Department, which is a part of the United Nations. So they have a whole other jurisdiction, which is why the pets are so important to white folk. Because white folk always need dogs because that's part of their family. That's the other ancestor. If the monkey is the grandfather, then the dog is the grandmother. You know what I'm saying? But again, if we say this as heterosexual conscious black people with love in our hearts, right? Because I don't hate no white people, folk for coming from where they come from. But see, if we say it just how we saying it dispassionately, it takes all of the angst and all of the slavery and all that crazy stuff out of it, and that's not what they want. They want us to talk about it from an anger, emotional perspective, which then shuts down the serotonin level in the brain, which then makes more adrenaline pump, which makes you not be able to think as clear. So what first thing we got to do is start deprogramming yourself. Find out all of this stuff around you or in you or in your environment, in your life. Anybody that's draining you potentially is an enemy of you. And that's anybody. So you got to start being more intuitive as a female. I would suggest you do that and not just give species the benefit of the doubt because you are a mothering energy. You know, Mother Earth is one thing, but Kali is Mother Earth in an earthquake. And you see what she just did.
Yeah.
So now that she's altered the time-space continuum, you know what I'm saying? Because we're 3 degrees from where we were. We lost 6 minutes from the day right before daylight savings time switch over again, you see? We're in a whole different space now. So now anything can happen. You see what I'm saying? So now is the best time for us as those of us who are really focused on this type of stuff to focus on this stuff. And we'll eventually find each other. Because the time will come when that type of stuff is needed. But until then, you got to maintain your own individual universe, not really get caught up in groups and stuff like that, and allow yourself to be able to be a more, or be black, or be a woman, or be original, but be who and what you naturally are in your archetype, and then everything else will bend around that. Because the universe is creating the portal for us to be able to walk into a place where that type of stuff is venerated. So, you know, thanks for calling, Queen.
Thank you. I will do what you said. Thank you.
Thank you, Queen. Peace.
Uh, 904-412. Radio. Peace.
Peace. Peace. This is the TV guy again.
All right. I just saw some brothers or a sister in the chat room. They want to, if you want to know if you could elaborate a little bit more on the whole earthquake situation.
On the the earthquake thing?
Yes, sir.
You're gonna see something. You just gotta watch for stuff in Washington and Oregon. Watch for stuff in like Myanmar. Watch for stuff in like Bolivia, because allegedly, according to Casey, right? And I'm not saying he's the best source, but he's one who was one of these crackers who grew up Rosicrucian, and he was learned very early. Some people even say Randolph messed with him, but you know, white folks say that when they want to look legit. You know what I mean? They'd be like, "Oh, I learned from this black guy," you know, and he really didn't. That's why every time you see Eric Clapton, he on the phone with Buddy Guy or somebody. But anyway, he did the knowledge to that and was able to duplicate that that essence. Excuse me. So essentially what's happening is that this so-called shockwave that they talk about, or these aftershocks, I've been monitoring the HARP thing to see, you know, if it was like Haiti, and it wasn't. There wasn't anything, you know, from that. But the one I was reading from wasn't from the one that's in the vicinity of Chile. But remember, the Moors ruled everything from Alaska to Chile, right? So because the map is reversed, that means Chile technically is at the top of the country. See what I'm saying? Florida technically is at the bottom. See what I'm saying? Excuse me. What you call it is basically at the top, like Canada, Alaska, and all of that. But the thing about it is all the oldest relics and stuff is in the South, like Veracruz and all of that, Tehuantepec, Peru, all of that type of stuff. All the oldest monuments and stuff. That's why when these white folk tell you that they crossed the Bering Strait as some type of Mongoloid, Indian, Asian, Russian type of person, they lying. Because if that's the case, then all of the old stuff would be up around Alaska and Canada and all of that. All that stuff was wilderness. Why would we live in the wilderness if we didn't have to? See, we all lived in the South, grouped up, but then when everything started falling, right, let's say after 1492, when De Soto, Pizarro, Cortez, and all these dudes started coming through, who were, again, conquistador, amalgamated Hebrew Moriscos, who were working for Queen Isabella, who had divorced Ferdinand because he had allied himself with the Vatican, and she was trying to go back to Moorish rule. So she had to be protected. So what she was trying to do was solidify all of the Moorish dominions over here before Ferdinand and the Knights Malta and them was going to come over here and lock it out under Catholicism. But what happened was they killed a lot of the Moorish conquistadors, straight Moorish ones, and replaced them the day of the voyage with these zealots of the church. So when they came, they took over everything down there and flipped the gold. So when we got pushed out like that, we started moving further up. You see what I'm saying? Up into Veracruz, which is now, Guatemala, Ecuador, and then move further up into the Texas region and further up into Florida, further up into New York and so forth and so on. And eventually began to just stay there. So once we destroyed that foreign rule and was trying to reestablish ourselves, that's what was the time when the crackers started coming in, which technically was around the time of the first earthquake in Chile. So I'm not necessarily saying that the government was a part of that. I'm saying that that is all. I'm saying they're going to exploit that, but they can't do what they did to Haiti because Chile got an army. They got hammers and stuff, so you can't just run up in there with humanitarian aid acting like
you're going to steal little babies.
All the humanitarian aid niggas, UNICEF niggas wearing government issued combat boots and shit. you can't be pulling that on them people. So there's a certain degree of trepidation. So you're not going to see a We Are the World for Chile, but the We Are the World for Haiti is all about the war against the original people that the black woman in the media is co-signing. You see what I'm saying? She's the queen of this now. It's the white woman, the black woman, and the white man. Now, I'm not saying all black women. I'm saying that the ones that we are typically talking about that are following the pursuits of these behaviors are the ones that are perpetuating this reality, just like the Oracle in the Matrix. Yes, she was helping the Neo, but she was down with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
You got
She
another call in the queue.
This was up.
I guess this should be the last drink before, we close out.
Cool.
925-550. You're on Super Heru Radio. Peace.
Peace. What's happening, everybody? How you guys doing?
Peace, brother.
How you doing?
Okay, I just had pretty good, not too bad. I just had a quick question about Codex Alimentarius. I know that the kill date of December 31st kind of came and went, and I can still buy my supplements. So, is there any new word on that? If they switched the plan, or what's up?
Nah, it's still in effect. It's just that they've decided to go more covert and more internally in terms of how they give out the info. So, you got to watch things that are labeled organic now. You got to watch, anything with soy or tofu and shit like that. They're putting it.
Oh, we always did, though. Because with the numbering scheme, if it didn't have a 9 on it, it's not organic anyway. So.
But see, they catch on to shit like that. You see what I'm saying? Like, we got to remember that the minute enough of us get comfortable with something, they flip it up. So those people that feel that it's still like that, you got to remember you're dealing with a constantly a hydra. So there's a bunch of different heads operating independently of the body. So with the Codex Alimentarius thing, that was put forth into the humanitarian aspect of war. which is we bomb the country or we use the weather modification technology as a means to fuck the country up, and then we come in as humanitarians and then kill the people with medicine and shit like that. Or we start taking the babies out, you know what I'm saying, and using them for ritual implantation later on and things like that. So it's still in effect. It's just not as literal as we, like once a piece of information comes out in a literal fashion, where you can really go in on it and read it like that, what you got to then do is begin to think about models in which that same information can be exploited. You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of times they catch on to what's going on because they wind up recruiting somebody that's like us. You see? So they're always
because the information is powerful. Well, I was going to say, the information on that was powerful because I was at my my local health food store, and I just made mention. And the next week, they had a whole kiosk dedicated to alimentarius. They had literature. They were on this whole anti-alimentarius thing just for me making mention. That's just for me for making mention.
No, that's part of the green thing. That's part of the whole green movement technology, the earth. We have to save the earth. Georgia Guidestone shit. All of that shit is, again, a covert way to promote environmental communism, which really is about real estate, land grabs and shit. So essentially, we're still dealing with the same hooligans that was running the liquor and found that they could flip the liquor into record sales by getting Robert Johnson, these people strung out. You see what I'm saying? It's the same tactic because technically we have never left that period of time. The only thing that has changed really is our level of awareness in the game. So again, you just saying it made them do it. So imagine if you say something else. That's what you need to focus on. You know, see, you obviously have the means to, around certain people, you know, trigger them to do shit. So try to focus on that. Right. Thanks for calling, man.
I'm sorry, what'd you say? Oh, yeah, no problem.
I said thanks for calling, bro.
Thank you. Can I just stay on, on hold so I can finish hearing the show?
Sure. Sure, man.
Thanks.
Thank you, brother.
All right, we did the last 2 minutes. I mean, we got one last call in the queue. I mean, I guess we could answer it, and for all those listening, you know, we say, you know, peace and everything.
Word, peace.
We'll take the last call into the, you know, the after minutes or whatever, and everybody,
thanks for listening. Thanks for calling in. Thanks for being around. Once again, thanks for supporting www.aseertheducateers.com. Anybody want to holler at me, houseoflel@hotmail.com. So, yeah, we can take the last one, man.
All right. 347.
Oh, got 90 seconds. So try to be quick, whoever it is.
Yeah. Peace to the gods. What's good, brother? This is Red Pill. Just calling
what's up?
I'm good, man. I'm calling up the Super Herus and just shouting y'all out. I've been listening to the show. Powerful information.
Thank you, brother.
Thank
you.
Huh?
I said I appreciate it, bro.
Yes, sir. You know New York is missing you, brother. When you coming back, man? When you gonna bless us with your appearance and drop some knowledge on it?
You put me on the spot. We got something coming soon. I'm gonna get the date and we gonna launch it. But I'm gonna holler at you, man. Thanks for calling in.
I just don't go by where they be like, "What the Duke, man? What's good with the Duke?"
So it looks like it's going to be soon, man. But again, man, I appreciate you calling in and showing the love.
No doubt, y'all. Keep doing your thing, brother.
Thank you, King.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace. Nah, man, I really want to say thank you to everybody and my brother, you know, Saad Ali. Please support. We got to do this. We got to support each other creatively and take over this media, or at least create our own media bubble where we support our own images and things like that. Boycott Precious. Black women, stand up. Take your womb back. Stop letting you out, man. He's ripping out your insides, yo. He's an animal. Same thing for niggas, man. Stop dealing with these white girls that's descended from the daughters of the American Revolution, man. They set up to destroy you. When a black man get with a white woman, that's white preservation. When a black woman get with a white man, or people who think they are that, that's Caucasian ascension. So we gotta block that. And when I say that, I don't mean people who are Caucasian who don't feel like white. I mean those that do. And they know what we're talking about. So human families and planet Earth unite. Let's get the celestial money, man. Peace. Super Heavy Radio.
Peace.